Previously, I visited the Shaolin Temple in Henan Province, northern China, to learn about what Shaolin Kung Fu is, where it comes from, and what's its impact on the world of Chinese martial arts. I learned that Shaolin Kung Fu was a collection of various long fist styles that had been collected and amalgamated both by monks in the temple and by civilians in the nearby villages over the course of several hundred years. Furthermore, I learned that this eclectic grouping of styles was bound together by a series of principles which were expressed in an advanced practice called Xinyiba. I then travelled around several parts of northern China to learn about the art of Xingyiquan, an art which shared many of these core principles and ideas. But there is another aspect of Shaolin's heritage I want to explore, and that is the impact it has had on the cultural and mythical landscape of Chinese martial arts. Hundreds of miles to the south of the Shaolin Temple is the coastal province of Fujian, also called Hokkien, the first part of China to engage and trade with the outside world in the modern era, and the ancestral home of many of the overseas Chinese diaspora. Historically though, Fujian province was incredibly remote, cut off from the rest of the country due to its rugged mountainous terrain. This can be seen in the unique local culture and large variety of dialects in the province. In fact, people from the city of Fuzhou cannot understand a word of what is being said in the provincial capital of Fuzhou. During the Ming Dynasty, which lasted from 1368 to 1644, the coast of Fujian was constantly raided by pirate groups known as the Wokou, many of whom came from Japan and other nearby islands. As a result, in 1555, the emperor sent General Qi Jiguang, a native of the northern Shandong province, to the south of China to team up with Fujian general Yu Daiyou to defend the coast against pirate incursions. Both of these figures had an important impact on the practice of martial arts in both northern and southern China. Qi Jiguang wrote a large treatise on military strategy, and within it he described and illustrated 32 postures for hand-to-hand combat, which were based on popular northern martial arts styles of the time. Yu Daiyou also wrote extensively on weapons methods, and even visited the Shaolin Temple in Henan, where he taught his staff methods to the monks there. He also brought some of these monks back with him to Zhejiang and Fujian province to serve him in his regiment as soldiers. Just under 100 years later, the fall of the Ming Dynasty and subsequent founding of the Qing Dynasty in 1644 by the ethnic Manchu people from the northeast created widespread resentment among the majority Han Chinese, and this was particularly strong in the south of China, where many Ming loyalists had fled to. Over time, these Ming loyalists began to form various secret societies, known as the Tiandi Hui, or Heaven and Earth Society, which later became known as the Sanhe Hui, or the Triads. These groups were loosely organized revolutionary groups, who also worked as protection rackets for merchants traveling from place to place. They developed elaborate rituals, secret code words and hand gestures, swearing complex vows of brotherhood and loyalty. Many of them also practiced martial arts, and the styles they practiced would often represent the particular guild or sect with which they belonged. As these triad groups became more widespread, a folklore developed among the local people that the groups were descended from a supposed southern Shaolin temple, which was set up after monks fled the destruction of the temple in the north by the Qing government. This southern Shaolin temple then became a hotbed for revolutionary activity and was also burnt down, with 5 monks surviving and going into hiding, spreading their political message and martial arts through underground networks. While many southern martial artists attribute their origin to one of these 5 survivors, there is no actual evidence of them having actually existed, and even the existence of the southern Shaolin temple is met with cynicism among the academic community. For this trip, I've teamed up with Jesse Enkamp, aka the Karate Nerd. He's on a quest to find the roots of karate. While for me, I want to understand what the various styles of Fujian are all about, how they relate to the Southern Shaolin myth, and what influence did they have on Southern Shaolin Kung Fu as a whole. Our first stop was the provincial capital of Fuzhou. During the Qing dynasty, this city was a thriving port which had strong ties with the island of Okinawa. There are many styles of martial arts practiced in Fuzhou, but the most widespread is probably the art of whooping crane or Minghequan. While this art calls Fuzhou home, it's also popular in places such as Taiwan and Malaysia, and according to Jesse, is one of the ancestral styles of Okinawan karate. We met with Alex Xu, the Deputy Secretary of the local Fuzhou Martial Arts Association, who invited us to attend a large banquet where we had the chance to meet some of the top masters of the city. He introduced us first to Master Yu Danqiu. And now we've headed over to Master Yu Danqiu's Crying Crane Kung Fu School. So we're going to go inside and talk to Master Yu, learn a little bit about his Crying Crane style. And there's also a few other teachers here, so maybe some of them will show us something. So let's go inside and see what's going on. So if he's very hard, you use his power.
Yeah. Okay.
那你们那个八步脸，刚看你学生表演那个八步脸，这是看起来特别硬，
对，
包括脸什么，
对，都是硬的。
是这个是为了抗击打的作用，还是为了什么作用？
说发力，
这是发力。
看击打，还有我发力很有，你看到我那个发力就这个样子的，你看。
So the reason you're so hard when you're doing babu lian, the reason you're so hard, one is for taking a punch, being able to take hits. Another is so that you have the power to hit people. So that's the power from babu lian that he's using.
Right. What about?
After spending some time listening to Master Yu introduce his art, as well as having a friendly exchange with another local teacher, he then invited us back to his home to talk more.
因为那边那个隐形防盗网，他说有4个平方，我们算的话，跟他算的差了4个平。
这个跟咏春不一样，这个跟咏春不一样，这个是我们有，跟他们不一样。
咏春白鹤嘛，
我们是这样的呢，它的。
We have a form. Can use this kind of weapon. But no in Yongchuan by her. No?
Oh, so this is unique to Fuzhou?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
这个是。
Spin. Oh, throw. Yeah.
可以扔吗？
对呀。
Yeah.
他就扔过去了。
Ah.
你跑，他
So just throw them at you.
Yeah. 其实可以去做把真的刀了。
嗯，
可以不用开喷的，可以练。两边。
这两边那不是这样。好。
啊。Yeah。
OK。
这底下很好。底下。
它这个是很香的木头，好木头。
是什么木头？
这是中药。
What does it smell like? What do you think?
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
这个就是药了。
After showing us his weapons, he took us into his study, where he kept some old white crane manuscripts and an old Japanese copy of the Bubishi, the earliest book detailing the art of karate. And the medicine and stuff is not in these ones that he's got here. They're in some other books. It's like it's a big collection of
这
books.
是专门是武术的，药不在里面。
These ones are only about the martial arts.
药不在里面。
那他们是哪一年写的？
啊，这很久了。我是父亲从那个时候是因为书破掉了，他重新再写。
So his father copied hand copied these from the originals.
破掉了，
把它抄有
破掉了。
抄。
那在文革的时候没有被烧掉吗？
藏起来了应该是。
藏起来。So they had
这
to.
个药
It's the medicine one.
破了。
这个是被烧了。
这个是文化大革命。
The Cultural Revolution, all the books were burnt.
烧掉了我。
So when they tried to burn the book, he saved them basically.
Wow. That's why it's kind of burned on the
这个都
edges.
是以前的，这都是药。
Yeah, look, there you go. That's the.
烧文化大革命，知道文化大革命？
我知道
烧掉烧这个书烧掉了，我这个。我小孩子，哎呀，扯多人的。
但你敢吗？你不怕？你这样去？
我很小，我就偷了，我跑走了。
So he like secretly he was a little kid, and he like took it out the fire like he snuck off with it. So I mean.
剩下都烧掉了，所以我父亲呢，把这个老的书，他重新再写出来了。这个就是原来的对。
所以这些是文革后父亲写的。
哎，抄的，但是旧的书跟这个一样。
Oh, okay. So these ones, so this one's like from before the revolution, right?
Yeah.
And saved from burning.
Yeah.
These ones, his father hand wrote them after the revolution. He copied them from the original ones that were
烧掉了，
damaged.
你看，没了。
The next day, Alex took us to meet another teacher, Master Lin Shanquan, who practiced a style known as Shangdianquan, or incense shop boxing. The style took its name from an incense shop where in 1918 a mysterious Buddhist monk took residence, teaching the owner of the shop as well as a small group of local men the art of Southern Luohanquan. They then refined and developed the art over the years, naming the style after their place of practice.
Now, yeah, just
打个比方，你外面很响，这个没用，这个没用，这个没力，我们很响，我们是这样，这没响啊。
You see the difference in
那我们训练的时候要发力，啊，这样弓起来。这个时候我们会变长，这样，你外面的群魔，这样啊，我们要把后八卦
So
人的骨骼上面，
see how he's rounding
这个
his
要
back
打开，
in order to get the power.
这个要打开，
to get the power through the back.
这个要打开，所以说我的骨骼，你看马好马，汗球宝马，
It's like a
它的前蹄要闭上来。
like a horse's front legs.
我们有个功法，你们没有，你这个没打开，臂不长，我可以打开。
So he's like opening his shoulder blades,
我可以打开。
and he's saying I can't do
这
it.
就是我们那边发力的训练。比如砸下去，我们有个单门，专门训练这个。
So when they're training power,
这是主招里面主手里面，
they're training
跑过去跑，还有我们这个肘很活，
elbows.
这个肘很活，我们是大开大架，开的时候怎么开响啊？很跑，叫肘 啊，叫走给升华。步伐
So
哎
it's，
这个动
elbows
作
or whatever. It's
这
all
个里
coming
面
from the body and the feet.
要配合
from
啊
the。back.
Yeah. The body, the feet, and then through the back. So it's all one connected unit.
哎，不是，这
It's
这
not
这个
like
风格
this,
不是这
it's
个
not.
风格，哎，不是这样没办法打。像他比如说空手道，你这样子啊，
So
1、2、3，
karate
砰，就给他打了，
something like that.
一下子就打了。我们跟你要这样子可以，砰，我们有个步伐，垫步，我们现在你们上面讲，这是垫步。
So
啊
you see the，
我
footwork.
们头部里面就有这个步。我们讲三角马，多他马进步。你比如在这边头部就我们就腿挡啊，不是打，不是这样。
It's not all just here.
哎，
Like
不是
this.
这种风格，
More expansion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're moving a
哎
lot.，
不是这个风格。风格上面你不要理解了，我们有翻的训练。刚才讲的翻，这个翻力。所以说我们还有个紧张，要把把握好，打开，翻。
So you need to open your back. 还有胯，
胯要打开。
胯要 open your back and open your hips.
How do you open the hips and
胯
what
是
way?
怎么打开的？
那我们有训练的功法
It's like，you
这
have
就是
special
我们
training
这
methods
门派独特的，有没有
It's
嘛？
their special training method, like how they
你
train.
们为什么不走呢？没有不活路，你们不篮球大会走，
So why do a lot of people have very
这样不行。
restricted footwork? Because their hips are not open.
Ah, they're too tight.
Yeah, yeah.
你去看我们本土的这个男女大部分不，
Because I look
这
at
个不行。
most Fujian styles,
这个不
they
行。
have very limited footwork
这
because
这
their
个不
hips are
行
not open.
我们的步很大很活，
But theirs is
不
very-
哎转过来，哎，这上中下，马上我们手可以把这么打。
It's very
Huh?
like
Yeah.
啊，对呀、你比如我跟你给吃饭，完了碰呀，我们可以打这么长，可以打这么长，啊，可以打这么
it's
长。
very fast.
这场真的我们还可以打。
See, he can make himself even longer.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
by stretching
Even
out.
though he's smaller than me, he becomes very big.
所以说叫大开大合。
So you have to, it's big opening and big
Yeah,
closing.
yeah.
我们的裙子是大开大合，上中下，啊，刚才这个就是中盘了，
This is middle.
这就是中盘了，
Okay.
啊，捧这个就是上盘不行了，啊，捧我啊，这就是中盘，
And that's
这
lower.
中盘脚一跪呀，
So that's why they have also the deep stances.
Yeah.
这个一下去了，脚跪呀就完了。
Sorry.
脚有跪呀，啊，这就是中盘，有中盘不行，我们下盘转下去了，那要
And
跟
this
上，
is even lower one, just
那要下，
coming in really low.
Yeah, yeah.
所以说上中下三盘。
So the three planes, the three
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
Master Lin was a passionate teacher, incredibly enthusiastic to share his art with us, which he taught from his small bone setting clinic down a discreet back alley. After explaining some concepts of the art to us, he noticed I was often cricking my neck and offered to treat me. Master Lin was incredibly generous, and before we left insisted on writing us a piece of calligraphy each. Another popular local art is known as dog boxing, or Di Shu Quan, which is famous for its ground fighting methods. Chinese ground fighting is different from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's focused more on taking a standing opponent down and then standing back up safely yourself. We managed to meet a local teacher, although the meeting was strained and awkward, and we were only given the briefest of demonstrations.
我要往前面，我就要往这边去。我这样，哎，我加他啊，但是这个就是我们最基本的动作，比如说。
This is the very basic applications.
他比如打进来以后，他底下我底下到他打进一球钟，一打进来我一顶一脚我下面，他脚，他马上倒了是吧？我一下到下面才倒了，就在对方拳打过来，他拳打，一抓我下去脚，来怎么样？捆住了吧？
像这样捆住的动作，几十个动作，多的，我们灵活应用。
Having gained an overview of the 3 major martial arts styles of the city of Fuzhou, I wanted to better understand the routes, and so we headed a couple of hours south to the ancient port of Quanzhou. In the next part we will visit one of the 3 modernly built southern Shaolin temples, before meeting with Master Zhang Xiaofeng, one of the city's most respected masters of the art of Wuzuquan, or 5 Ancestors Fist. From there, we will then head deep into the countryside to the county of Yongchuan, the place where White Crane Fist was first practiced and taught.